So what the Lightboard overcomes is the fact that traditional blackboard, whiteboard, you see the back of the head and the instructor's writing and literally covering their own material. They're talking away from you, possibly sounding muffled. Lightboard, obviously, is a pane of glass. You stand here, you're looking directly into your students and writing, but you notice that it's backwards.
But wait, how
What I
come?
love about this is it's such a simple trick. It's so low tech, but if we turn on the camera here,
You just turned it off.
It was on.
it was on.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was on.
it was on the demo
microphone
mode.
wasn't on. We couldn't hear you very well behind the board.
Well, yeah, that's taken care of
Okay, there.
when
So
in the recording.
this
You'll
has
have a
been-
lavalier
This is
mic.
shooting the mirror images. It's flip the image with the camera. The other Lightboards you've seen is that there's a mirror. They shoot it off a mirror, but that seems very awkward to shoot at cameras the other way. You're adjusting the mirror, try to get the whole image. So that, we've switched it in the camera. And then the other thing is that I physically moved this Lightboard from the room.
It's mobile.
Ours is mobile, because usually it's a piece of glass. It's very heavy. It's a certain type of glass. It's called sapphire glass. It's used for aquariums. It's very heavy. This is made out of acrylic plastic. It's 1/3 the weight. It's mobile. I wouldn't be able to mount it between two carts like this because the glass might shatter if I had mounted it with a piece of glass. Okay, so ours is immediately mobile, and it does this visual trick of reversing the image. So I'm writing, and the students are seeing it with this kind of visual trick, which makes it kind of stunning when you look at it. So how is he writing forward? And of course, some of us know how to write backwards.
And you can
really just.
And in the camera, you can see the reflection here, right? In the projector screen over there. But in the room that we've got set up, we've got the light set up to where you can't see any reflection. All you see is the person and the lettering and the writing.
There'll be a black backdrop. There'll be lighting from the sides.
Yeah.
You know, in a more professional lighting, it'll bring out the subject even more than me standing. And I'll be wearing a lavalier.
Yeah.
I'll be talking
And this is-
literally directly into each of the students'
Yeah.
ears.
And this goes directly into Panopto.
So,
We
clean
got
audio,
Yep.
tight face contact. It's perfect for like starting your video to your classes where you want to introduce yourself. Then at some point you can
Do
just
some
cut
writing.
away, and then they'll hear that voice. But at some point they want to hear that voice connected back to the face again. So you end the video with a tight shot on yourself again. And you do that at the beginning of the course. I know some teachers have told me that they're camera shy. They don't like to be seen all the time. And I find myself really uncomfortable watching myself. But this is, you know,
This
you
is
have
about
to
the
complete
students.
Yeah.
that psychological distance. You have to overcome that lack of presence. So that just kind of comes with the territory sometimes. And just introducing yourself briefly would complete that psychological distance, and I think it would make learning a lot easier. Okay, so there's nothing particularly original about this. There's a lot of if you Google Lightboard, you'll see all these do-it-yourself videos. And this is I looked at all the videos and I took the best parts out of it. For example, I went to Seattle U, they also have one there. North Campus had one. They have a full-blown glass 4x8 piece, which is huge.
And heavy.
It could only be moved once. It's so heavy. And Seattle U, they hired a carpenter to build this nice frame, and it got all caught up in the carpentry and the varnish, and I didn't want to deal with that, so I just did what media has is carts, and there happened to be at the right height, that optimal height where you don't have to stoop. You don't have to raise too high. And I chose a roughly a little less than 4x6. It's actually 3 inches less.
What was your budget on this then?
I received a mini grant last year for $900. And I actually built it for less because I was going to build 2, but this actually ended up costing $700.
Dude.
A very low cost, big bang for your buck kind of thing. And it's low tech. It relies on this visual trick of flipping the image, which I love because it's so.
We saved the mirror. We didn't have to use any mirror and stuff.
Yeah, we didn't use the mirror. And I think the other mistake that the other people did, I won't mention them, but it is, I mean, I don't want to embarrass them, but is using a mirror. When you use a mirror, you can't use a cheapo mirror. It's got to be a plate glass that doesn't bend or flex or
Yep.
distort. Because if you're looking at a mirror image, it'll just double the distortion by shooting it on video.
Yep.
So,
Maybe you should share this on Open Commons. Seriously.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of do-it-yourself, but I see
Totally.
them making a lot of mistakes. And one of them is getting hung up on building the carpentry and all that, because you never see that. You never actually see that. And
Yeah.
with metal, there's no warping from the wood. This piece of plastic actually does flex, and that's why there's metal bars across the top, is to take the flex out of it. And that's all I really did. And then these are just bookshelf brackets, and then these are metal carts, which we were actually in the process of disposing.
And what about the lights?
The lights are just LED lights,
This little
and you
strip.
just line them up. I did have to treat the glass, especially polish the sides, to make it translucent so
Is
that
that
the
that
glass.
bias lighting that you get for your LCD screen?
Yeah, this is just, it's common, like, you know.
You can buy that at the Hard. You can buy it at Home Depot,
You have to get
whatever.
the cool white, bright lights that are daylight, for daylight. You don't want the, you know, any like reddish or different temperature lights. You want daylight.
Camera does the mirroring.
And,
Yeah.
what may not be apparent to you is that Gordon has a PhD in film studies, so he knows a lot of details, and he's really invested a lot of time in this. But what he's really doing is giving you an invitation to our new Studio Q,
Right. We're
which
gonna have a
you
Studio
can
Q.
see later, and you can talk about it in a minute. But so we built the Lightboard for you to use.
Exactly.
So, and then, while we understand all the technical bits, you don't have to.
Yep.
And if you have any questions, we can answer those.
Yep.
And, it might sound like there needs to be some, production around the film, but we can also help with that.
I was
Awesome.
gonna say, if I might, one of the things I was most excited about when we were like practicing and doing stuff, I went in there, I tried it, and I asked you, now how do I get it from the camera to my course? And you said,
Exactly.
no, it's hooked into Panopto already.
Right.
So you go in, you sign into your
Canvas.
Canvas course, the computer's already in that room, you pull up your sandbox or whatever, and it will feed directly into your sandbox.
Exactly.
And then you can just move it from your sandbox into the course that you want it in. So
Yep.
it's so, like, it's very streamlined and it's
Exactly,
great.
and that is the concept for Studio Q with Keith about a year ago. That's exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to make it as easy as possible. You just come in a room, you open up your account, the video is streamed directly into your Canvas account, captured there, you caption it there, and before you even walk out of a room, you have your video mounted and ready to
Done.
go.
Yep.
Captions and with the razzle dazzle of a Lightboard.
Yep.
And that was the whole idea, and I think it's
We got a few little tweaks to do, but it'll be ready.
But it's there. and-
Yeah, it'll be ready probably the first or second week of the
So
fall.
one stop, it's
Yeah.
probably, you know, just about the length of your video, 15, 20 minutes. You walk out and it's ready.
Yep.
That's the whole concept. And we can do it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Now, a little about my background, I actually worked at Stanford, and this is the kind of thing we did with electronic classrooms. They actually have 9 of them, which they broadcasted to Silicon Valley. And that's where Stanford was considered the gold standard in those days of telecourses. But there was the actual, they had rooms, it was a multi-million-dollar operation. Obviously, Stanford spent a lot of money to put cameras in rooms, microphones at every desk, actually have a control room where you have a student, an operator actually zooming in on all the people talking. It was a big, it's like a TV production.
Yeah.
Whereas now, it's just basically a one-man operation, if at that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the goal is to we're gonna have an online scheduling system where you can schedule time yourself. We do want probably the first time for you to be in there with somebody who can show you all the how to turn on the camera, how to turn on the lights, and all that stuff. But then after that, you can schedule your own time. Go in there. You'll have the whole room to yourself. For an hour, a couple hours, whatever you need. And then come out with a produced thing, so.